Alright, we should be live.
Oh, it's a big yawn.
Just, good times.
Come on, guys. Like, really? And I'm so happy Twitch is playing in the background too, so I'd hear that for the second time.
It's so good you had to hear it twice.
Yeah. I mean, really, can Microsoft, like, release anything?
Don't tell me you upgraded Windows 10 on your tablet.
No.
Oh, thank God.
Why?
They broke tablet mode. It doesn't work the same way as it did on Windows 8. So, so I would recommend waiting for a little bit. And also the start menu is totally broken, so that's fun.
Good release, guys.
Yeah, everything else is fine. It's just there's a bug in start menu where it's not showing. It doesn't show, even if you like go to the section where it's going to show all of your installed apps, it doesn't show everything you have installed.
It seems kind of minor.
Yeah, I mean you can still. I think you can still search for it and it'll show up, but I don't know.
So it's just a labeling problem.
Well, they
Most
tried to
of your apps.
They tried to do this thing where the start menu will only show like your most, like the 500 most often used applications on your machine.
Who has more than 500 applications on their machines?
Well, if you think about it, like I installed, I run the Adobe Creative Cloud, which installs like 27 things. So,
really?
And that's just like for one thing. There's a lot of stuff I use in IT where it installs one thing, but then kind of has like 15 applications associated with it. So you can get up to that pretty quickly. Most people, it won't be a problem, but I don't know. It's just little growing pains, stuff like that.
Seems like things that could have been tested. No,
Yeah.
Simpson, you're not crawling back there.
I gotta go back there, though.
No, there's no need for you to be there. Just try not to knock a box on my head.
Yeah. I wish I could get rid of that little me down there. I don't know how to do that in Skype.
What? Oh, like this one.
Yeah.
Alright, maybe I can figure this. Because I realized that this is doing this on my screen, and it's just this little one down in this corner, like...
It's me all the way over there.
Right in there.
Yep. Squish. You know, like pinch?
Squishy, 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 squishy.
Oh, man.
I crush your head. I crush it. Oh, it's tough. Yeah.
Good times.
Was that in the state when they did that?
I think
Crush your head.
it was... No, was it Kids in the Hall?
Yes.
No.
Those kids in the hall.
Oh, man. I was thinking about watching Brain Candy the other day, and I was like, I don't know if that would hold up.
Ugh.
I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah, I would like to leave that one. Same thing with Strangers with Candy.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll leave that where it was.
oh man, was that funny.
Yeah. I'm assuming the Upright Citizens Brigade Little Donnie sketch still holds up. That one's timeless. Just a 2-foot-long swinging blur.
Here's the thing, it's a weapon. Don't be ashamed of it. Just sit there swinging.
A good dick joke is always going to be priceless.
That might be the best dick joke.
Yeah.
Today! That ass penny still is one of the funniest skits.
Oh, yeah.
Just try power tie. No, it's Bush League. Alright.
Alright.
When's your meeting? Get $5 in pennies and stick them up your ass. You just said.
You just a little like turn.
That gesture. That's little. Like, then you got the upper hand.
Oh man.
That skit is running through my head. Oh man, but White Hot American Summer had probably. I haven't had a laugh out loud moment like that in a long time.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I've been hearing good things about it. I follow the Onion's AV Club because typically their reviews are. They feel similarly how I do about most stuff, but they're a lot harsher than I am. So if they think something is like a B-, I'm like, ooh, I gotta go check that out. But if they think something is like a D or an F, I'm probably not gonna enjoy it. They have a lot of good stuff to say about that.
Really, the Onion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their AV Club stuff is really good because it's not. You know, they have a game review section that's actually really good too. You know, once you start getting away from the Onion's front page, they do a lot of really good, serious review work.
Huh. What was the other thing? Oh, I finally got around to watching Ex Machina.
Oh, how was that?
That was interesting.
Yeah.
Most
people are sort of like, that was okay.
Well, the whole premise, I thought the whole premise was really good.
Yeah.
And where it ended, I thought was fantastic too. But the way they went to that point, like, did they really have to make him out to be such a dick?
Yeah. We're sort of like, does he need to be that mean, like, all the time?
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really good. The more I think about it, the more I liked it.
Yeah, it sticks with you for a little bit.
Yeah, it got towards the end. Like at the end, I was like, "Huh." I really didn't think of it like that, but that logically makes sense that that's where this is going. And then it happened. You're like, "Huh."
Interesting. Chew on it for a little bit.
How about that?
Yeah.
Kill Me 3 Times was a lot of fun. I watched that Simon Pegg where he's the assassin movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty good. Really small cast. Now I know why that third Helmsworth brother isn't famous, because he's a bit fugly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The other one's got the good genes.
Yeah. A little more dreamy.
Yeah.
A little more debonair.
Get lost in those baby blues.
It is that, but man, this guy's face looks like Helmsworth with Gordon Ramsay's face.
Oh, okay. A little more rugged.
It's like it's real liney.
Yeah. Real craggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, you ready to kick this thing off?
Sure, because I really haven't done much different than I have the last 2 months.
Yeah, it's been busy. You know, the weather's nice.
It's not so much. It's not so much that. It's just like there's nothing I want to get home and play.
Yeah.
Like this one, I was like, look at the release. I was like, maybe no.
Yeah, we're sort of like,
Like Rare Replay might have been up there, but it was sold out everywhere. So
that's surprising. I've been meaning to pick that up because it's $30. I could play more Viva Pinata.
Yeah, and I think that's everyone's rationale. It's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll play more of this game I loved.
Oh man, there are a bunch of steel books coming out in the next month or two.
Oh no, I'm trying not to spend any money.
Did I show you the? Hold on, I gotta show you the last 3 I just got from Target.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
I'll sit here and talk to chat. Hi, chat. Hair's going crazy today. What's going on here? Get down there. How's everyone doing today? No Hannah today. He had an all-day-long family event to go to, so we are Hannah-less today. These dogs are pumped. Alright, let's see what goodies we have.
Alrighty. I'll start you off with the most simple one. So, we have
Ooh, man.
The Thing. Like,
Oh, slipcover.
So it opens up into
Nice. That's really cool looking.
that, and the inside just blood splatter.
Nice.
Because it's The Thing, one of Carpenter's best movies ever. Alrighty. Then, Shaun of the Dead.
Ooh, nice.
In the back, the Boilermaker.
Is that from Mondo? Did that say on the front?
Yes.
Oh, nice. I just bought the, Ooh, that's really nice. I just bought the Left 4 Dead, or not Left 4 Dead, Last of Us vinyl from them, which was way too much money.
Alright. And because I had to buy this because Flash.
Ah. Boy, that's nice.
Defender of the universe. Oh, I mean, it is outstanding.
Are most of Mondo's covers that same style?
Yes.
Oh, nice. That's kind of nice.
But I gotta pop out the cover for this one. But that is.
Oh man, that's what I like those inside covers to be. Like, it needs to be something really cool and striking from the movie.
Yes, and yeah.
Don't waste that space, people.
No, don't. I just don't want to see steel. You know.
Yeah. Or
but
like
yeah,
credits.
So almost all of the James Bonds are coming out in Steelbook.
Uh-oh.
Almost.
You only need to get Goldeneye.
Episode 1 through 6, a Star Wars is coming out in Steelbook.
Oh no! Is that the one I just saw with like one of them has General Grievous on the cover?
Oh, how cool does that look?
What's so funny is people are like, I can't believe they put General Grievous on the cover. I was like, but they put his face, the only cool part of Grievous, and it looks like all high quality and craggy.
Yeah.
And then Yoda's on one for some reason. I think they ran out of villains. Put Count Dooku on one. I don't know.
Yeah. Count Dooku.
Just Christopher Lee's face.
It's just short-haired Sauron, whatever.
Yeah, why not?
What's the other ones coming out? Well, obviously I gotta pick up Fast 7 in Steelbook because I have all the other ones on Steelbook.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
gotta complete the set.
God, there was another one coming out. I think Mad Max Fury Road's already announced that they're gonna get one.
That should be a cool one.
Yeah, I picked up whatchamacallit too, Insurgent. After I bought Divergent again because it was right next to it, because it looks the fucking same word. So
of course they couldn't say like movie 1, movie 2.
No, it's literally the Divergent series, Insurgent in little letters. They're like right next to it. I'm like, motherfucker.
That's what was so confusing to me. Like, Meg and I were sitting there watching TV and there's a commercial for one. I was like, wait, didn't that come out like last year? Is this a new one?
It was so bad, I didn't even note it. Like, I started noticing, it was like, wow, these are pretty old previews for this movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Fault in My Stars, like One Fine Day, or whatever the hell it is. I'm like,
yeah, and you're like,
and it's all with the same chick that's in the movie. Like, I'm like,
oh, weird.
What is happening?
Yeah.
All right, so I put this up, it's Divergent, and I'm like, did I
do this again?
Did I fuck this up? And yeah, I totally fucked it up.
Marketing's not working on us.
No, well, clearly it is.
Go get it again.
But yeah, so I did that. Also, those movies aren't bad. They're not great, but they're not bad.
I haven't seen them yet. They look fine.
The everything in the first movie plays a lot better in the second movie if you've seen the first movie.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's almost like required reading because you're just like, what was it?
Abstergo?
I almost said Abstergo.
That'd be great if you watch the second movie. It's just like, oh, Abstergo's here, and it's like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was like Amity and I can't even remember the rest of the other factions. There's like 8 of them or something.
Huh.
But I didn't know. It was like, so these people are what? Like the judgy people?
Black Mesa? What's going on?
These are the people that knit, farmers, the enforcers, and then the
Ryan Adams? I don't know.
I don't know.
A giraffe that talks?
That would make that movie amazing.
See, that's why they don't let me make movies.
Yeah. The talking giraffe, that would get everything.
It just has Bon Jovi riding on it.
No, it needs to be a giraffe that's singing John Bon Jovi every time it walks into a screen.
Yeah, but it's only John Bon Jovi stuff.
Yeah, it's just
Just real deep cuts.
like you just all of a sudden see a giraffe. You gotta hold on. And as it exits screens, it pokes his head back in. Bah. And then walk out.
I should write for Adult Swim. Gold, Jerry. It's gold.
I'll tell you what's gold is that Rick and Morty show.
You know, I haven't started watching that yet, and I'm waiting so I can just sit down and kind of poop sock through that whole first season.
I gotta find it on Blu-ray now because I've been watching season 2.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious.
Oh man. All right.
Yeah.
Let's kick this pig. As this gargoyle is behind you. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Going around the room, we have Knobs.
What's up?
No Hannah this week. He got pulled away by a whole day-long family event, so send best wishes to him. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Knobs, what have you been playing?
Well, we only had one Battlefield session this week. Monday night game night. Just come out, have some fun, shoot your friends. It's always a good time.
Nothing serious. Not a serious group here.
No, nothing serious. Like, I love vehicle hunting in that game, man.
Oh, yeah.
That is so much fun. Like, I just love popping a couple mines on it, pull out the RPG, dink, one shot. It's great. But, I'm trying to think. I don't remember, like, nothing really memorable happened other than us just being goofballs.
Just kind of waiting for the next
yeah,
one.
we're all getting that. We're tired.
Getting itchy.
We're tired because we have to keep playing like the vanilla, the base maps because not everyone has the DLC. Not everyone was an idiot about the season pass right when it came out.
Well, and they never came out with like a Game of the Year edition or definitive edition, did they? Where it had all the DLC? I don't think so.
I don't think so, and I think they're still adding DLC too. Like
I
think
they're
adding night maps. I think coming out for the original maps.
Yeah,
comes with new equipment and guns and stuff. So.
The other JZ says in chat, in lieu of the Hannah mentioning Wednesday night game night, this week was rad in Rocket League. Also, if anyone's listening, Rosenthal's been doing weekly highlight, lowlight videos in chat in the forums. You should go check that out. They are well put together and incredibly entertaining.
What's Ian doing now?
Highlight, lowlight videos for Rocket League?
Oh, for Rocket League. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Battlefield? I don't know.
No, because I thought it was. I think Rosenthal is Ian, right? He's got a PS4.
Hey, man, I don't know.
Oh.
I can't. My PS4 doesn't want to get on my wireless network anymore unless it's in rest mode, which is when I'm not playing games. So, I don't really know. Teamasil. Yeah, thank you, other JZ. Sorry.
Because that was going to be really confusing. Because that could be some angering.
Sorry to both. Sorry to both Rosenthal and Teamasil.
Oh, I'm not sorry for Ian. All right, fine. You want to talk about eventful was all right. So Ian finally got my tags. In the course of that run, he ended up getting like 3 times that night. One of them, I was answering the phone. I think that was last week. We got the first. Yeah. He got 2 more from me last week. Or last Monday night. One was a spawn where I was spawning behind Scott, and it just happens to be right in front of him. So I was like, oh, might as well cherry pick those. And the other one is I backed up into a corner right on top of him. It was my fault. Oh, man, I was not happy about that one.
That'll get you.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a wily one, though.
Yeah. Slippery little devil.
He is. I think Tom Gamer's the only one that's got him a couple times, so. But... Anyway, enough Battlefield. So I'm still on this crusade to finish Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. I really should. I would stream a lot of this if I wasn't playing the same levels over and over again, just grinding out levels.
Yeah.
Like that's
not fun for anybody.
Well, I would say the one I just finished would have been a lot of fun to watch because I had to kill like 30 mini boos, like,
Okay.
and it was bananas the whole time, and listen to "Boo Dad" like over and over again, which is cracking me up. But yeah, so I got through. I think I'm level 41 on the cusp of going 42. I finished all the training from Vegeta, so I have his blessing, and now we're mortal enemies now.
You have his blessing now. You can get married.
Yeah, I have his blessing. Now we can really fight.
Yeah.
Ugh. So I was stuck in this one area fighting Android 17 and 18, where they were mopping the floor with me, like
Just like punching you back and forth between each
and
other.
I could not do enough damage or draw enough attention to myself for Trunks to even survive the fight.
Oh, of
like,
course, it's another, hey, mate,
oh, yeah.
let this guy survive fight.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Ugh.
Yeah, almost seems like every third or fourth round or in the story mode is one of those where, hey, it's your lose conditions. Either you lose your health or your partner's KO'd and you're done.
Jeez.
Like, all right, well, that just sucks. So we're in the time Nexus room temple thing, and where all the time scrolls are.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in this room, and literally every time in this room, like Trunks says, "Who's messing with time?" I don't know. Maybe it's the same idiots from the first time that keep doing this. Like,
maybe it's you, Trunks, the time traveler.
Who could be doing this? This Mira Moda dude chick or whatever. There's a new time demon lord that's in the crack of time. Where's the crack of time? I don't know, Trunks. You're the space cop. Like, I'm just...
You literally traveled through time. Why don't you tell me?
You traveled time in the original universe. You should know more about things than anyone else.
You're literally the expert on time.
Like, this is all your fault. Let's be honest here.
Yeah,
the original time traveler in this universe is you, and you messed it up the first time.
Not trying to be a jerk, Trunks, but this is all your fault. Real talk.
Ugh. Oh, all right. Anyway, so the part that I'm enjoying more than anything else is going and playing the parallel quest and the different win conditions that helps you, like, well, they have like a list of things that you can unlock in a level, like if certain criteria are met.
Okay.
No hit on what this criterias are or what it is. All I know is you beat them fast enough and you gotta fight someone else at the end. Is about as much as I figured out at this point. Or kill this one person. Always start from the weaker enemies and work your way up. That seems to be the...
Sorry, I just looked out my window and I see a woman just pushing a grill down the street. Just like a backyard grill. Just... What is happening? What has led your life to this moment?
Hey, at least there's not a TV on top of it.
I don't know. It's two blocks over. I'm not sure. Anywho.
So I should be writing some of this up because there's stuff in this game that's driving me crazy. Just the dialogue is so bad, but it is so funny at the same time. Like, usually, like, if you do bad or if you do anything below a B, whoever your master is that you're training under for whatever portion, the person you selected, they usually talk crap if you're like a C below.
Yeah.
Or like I just got a Z mark, which is higher than S apparently.
Naturally.
With Cell, and he's like, "Oh, that was awesome. I'd hug you if that was the sort of thing I did." I'm like, "Oh, God."
Come on, game.
Like, really? I mean, we know he's a pompous D-bag, but really?
Yeah.
You gotta make him this like, oh, he's like insufferable. Oh.
Dragon Ball Z. Oh my God.
It's just, oh, I don't know. I can't stop. Like, I'm really just like empowering my way through this. Like, I go to the point where I hit a brick wall in the story mode where I'm completely outmatched. Then I go back and literally play through all the missions all over again.
Jeez.
And just grind out a level or two. Actually, if you do that, you probably grind out like 3 or 4. But now I'm to the point where it's like the distance between levels is getting huge right now, and it's kind of hard to milk it.
You know what's so funny is I bet I can almost guarantee that at some point you'll go behind a building in the main hub, and there's like some special set of missions that you're supposed to be playing instead that give you a ton of XP. And the game just has never told you.
Oh, I've been all around this world, like looking for people and trying to talk to everyone, and there is nothing like that.
Or there's like another town or another map.
Or unless they expect you to play online, unless that's where the
maybe. Yeah.
I'm having a hard enough time right now with AI controlled enemies. I couldn't imagine the BS that humans are gonna pull off.
I mean, can you even play online anymore? Like, are there enough people that you even could?
I don't know. Those forums on GameFAQs seem pretty active because I was poking around.
That's GameFAQs.
I don't know. I mean, I was kind of looking like, all right, are there any like little tips to go through?
Any sort of shortcuts here?
Well, if you're not playing Super Saiyan, you're playing it wrong. I'm like, come on, man.
Come on, GameFAQs.
Just really, there's just one way to play the game. I mean,
those are probably like trophy hunter, achievement hunter sort of people, where it's like, how can I get through this game the fastest?
Yeah, I'm not really trying to speedrun it. I just want to finish it, but it's getting all sorts of weird.
Yeah,
like even for Dragon Ball Z, like it's getting all sorts of crazy.
Yeah, almost all those what if stories really do.
What's the guy's name? Demigra the Demon D something. It was like Trips D jerk guy.
Demon Dragon.
Yeah, it's something. It's ridiculous. He's the one sucking the crack of time.
Naturally.
Yeah, and the little adorable Kai of Time comes up. It's, oh no! It's the big bad from before! Ah!
God, Dragon Ball Z.
I don't know. It's got to be. I don't know if it could be entertaining, but it's got my attention. I just keep grinding this stuff out. Like I'm just more interested in getting all the special moves and whatnot because those are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Vegeta's Final Flash is awesome. Like it is. Holy crap.
I'm glad they made Vegeta cool in that game though.
Oh no, he's cool. You know what's funny? Like, all right, so we'll get back to the waxing intellectual about Dragon Ball Z here. I think the thing that I always found most interesting in that isn't the arc of the heroes, it's the arc of the redeemed villains. And I always found the most interesting part in that show. Like it's from Dragon Ball, from Piccolo to where he ends up in Dragon Ball Z, or halfway through.
Yeah.
What about the Frieza saga where he's like, all right, well, I guess I'm Hohan good guy now.
Yeah. Shucks.
Right, and that Vegeta's arc literally started from season 1 and really didn't accept that fate all the way until the very end of that show.
Yeah, yeah, they do that a couple times. I think that's one of the real strong suits of that show.
Yeah, it's always fun. Just I don't know. I don't know why I enjoy that show so much.
It's not bad. I mean, people want to act like it's bad. It's just long. And it could be trimmed a little bit here and there, but it's not bad.
Well, it could be trimmed, and the crescendo is so formulaic, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Because I just read a review on the new movie that's coming out, like Resurrection F.
Yeah, whatever
it is with Gold Frieza, Emmy Frieza.
Naturally.
Comes out. So
next is Platinum Frieza.
So anyway, yeah, I can't wait for that one. Yeah, so anyway, so it's like, all right, so Goku's missing in the beginning. Shocker. Yeah, he's off training. Frieza comes up, beats up all his friends. He comes in. They fight hand in hand for a little bit. Then Goku loses the upper hand, and then somehow comes away with...
He's not powerful enough.
Then he turns Super Saiyan God.
Yeah.
Great, thanks, you teal hair bastard.
Yeah.
Oh, like really, guys? You got to go pastel on this.
Everybody, lend me your power. Yeah, I win. Credits.
You just need to. Every time the Spirit Bomb comes up, they just need to start playing Papa Roach Last Resort.
That's on the American cut.
Yes.
I watch it on Blu-ray.
Yes. a la Fight Music.
Get it at Suncoast for $55.
Like drowning pool. Oh man.
Anywho, so Xenoverse still treating you well?
Not really, but
No,
I
but it's
can't.
an
I can't
abusive
get away
relationship.
with it. Yeah, it is. I just
We're all
can't.
just waiting for you to open your eyes and be like, I don't have to do this to myself.
No. But I kind of have to.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it's that
I
horrible
bought it.
part where you're so far deep into it. It's like, well, just a little bit more, and then I'll be done. But you're never done.
I think right now. I think I am 25% through the story.
I just
25% through the story, and I think I've ground in this game probably close to 25 to 30 hours.
there has to be something else that
That's what I feel like. I feel like, what am I missing? Am I not? My equipment not helping me or something? Or, and it's literally just all physical stat boosts. That's all it does. And literally,
yeah.
a level up gives you 3 points, like 3 attribute points. You're like, I just. Can I just give me the octagon and just call it a day?
Can I pay $20 to level up? Like what?
Oh, I hope that's not in there because that would be a tough one to fight off. Right?
$20 max level, and it's like,
Like,
okay.
like what's my win button right now? 'Cause
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing's hitting quite hard enough.
Jeez.
But it is a pretty game to watch, though.
Yeah.
Like when you're pulling out like the energy beams flying every which way, and the crazy close-ups for all the different moves, and that's where I think this game's really shined. Is this actual gameplay is a lot of fun. It's just a lot of BS getting to the fun stuff. Like
Yeah, and it's kind of a nasty combo, because DBZ games have always looked pretty good, and there have always been a couple standouts that have looked really stellar, but the gameplay has never really been there, whether it's like a 2D one-on-one fighter, or there have been a couple of like the 3D arena fighters. There was some on PS2
that first Budokai was amazing.
Yeah, that one was
Like,
good, but like they
Holy
couldn't
crap, they nailed it. But
they
then they
couldn't ever consistently nail it after that.
But I don't think they didn't consistently. They tweaked the fighting system enough that it made what you knew irrelevant.
Oh, right.
Like they
Unless
just
you
kept,
like played each and every single one.
right, and they kept changing it, but everyone was the same rehash of the story, which is the one thing that I think this has kept me interested in it, is these crazy variants.
Yeah.
That have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, because if it was just the same Dragon Ball Z story told again in 1080p this time, it'd be like, well, I don't think I care that much.
Right, and that's where I think I'm going crazy, because I could have sworn there was a big timeline that had these little branching paths on it. I remember this so distinctively, and it's not in this game. I'm like, how is it not in this game?
I have seen it before.
Like, I know I've seen this recently. Like,
yeah.
Unless I'm thinking of another one that I bought. I don't know, because then I would have had to played it like within the last... I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Like, I'm like going through all the shops. Like, I know I saw it, and I know I'm missing something somewhere.
Yeah.
But nope, I'm just an idiot.
Naturally, that's the only answer.
Yeah, apparently that's it. It's the lump in front of the TV, not the not the game.
That's what DBZ is doing to you. It's making you feel bad about yourself.
It is. I'm really bummed out right now.
You're better than that, Knobs.
I should be.
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah.
So, what have you been playing?
I finished Steins Gate. I got the platinum for that. I got all the endings, got the true ending.
That was quick.
No, it really wasn't. It was like 35 hours.
But you did it in a week.
I did... My first ending was about 20 hours in. And then it was about 15 hours to get the rest of the endings. There's a really good walkthrough on PlayStationTrophies.org. It's very much like, okay, just do this, answer this email this way, do this, save this save game, make all these choices, reload that save game, make all these choices. It was really great. This is hands down one of the best games I've ever played. Just no qualms. It will be really hard for any visual novels to beat this. And something else has to come along that's outstanding to beat it for #1 this year. It's
I'm sorry. They just verify proof of life through Twitter on the
I
chat.
think, yeah. Yeah, everybody, Hannah's fine. Everything's good.
Yeah, no, he's fine. He was tweeting earlier.
Yeah, no, he's good. He held up a newspaper and it had his face. I think the thing that's really crazy about Steins Gate is it tells such a great science fiction story that is rooted in enough interesting sounding pseudoscience that you could sort of be like, okay, yeah, okay, time travel's possible. Sure, that makes sense. And the character, we were talking about character arcs in DBZ. It's so interesting to watch the genuine character progression through this game, where even the main character, the guy that you're playing as, is immediately fairly unlikable. But the character progression, the character arc he goes through is so outstanding that when it all comes full circle, it's this like heart-wrenching, bittersweet moment. And for this game to manage to tie up every single one of its loose ends throughout a 35-hour-long, purely text-based story is incredible.
Oof.
And it's one of those things where, like, even as I was going through the ending, I was sort of like, man, I still don't know. Like, I have all these like, how did this? I don't even understand, like, all these things. And then they managed to make they managed to answer every single one of those questions and address each and every single one of them in a way that's sort of like, cool. Like, that's incredibly satisfying. Coach Jamal in chat says, oh, Steins Gate main character is annoying the hell out of me. Then again, I'm only in chapter 2. Yeah, the main character, and I recommend this game to anybody that's interested in visual novels, because it's so good. The main character very much is, at the beginning, he's like your stereotypical, like, anime-loving main character, and it's so stereotypical that him and his friends, like, really love anime and are like throwing anime terms out all at the beginning. Once it hits chapter 4 and the story starts really taking off, that to me is where the character started moving away from this really annoying character and kind of starting to grow as a person. And that for me is where the whole storyline kind of really took hold.
At least you didn't have to suffer through a squeaky voice, right?
Yeah, no. So here's something that's really interesting. Since it is a visual novel, it's a real straight. It's a true visual novel. So it's just backgrounds and text and voice acting. The voice acting's in Japanese, and the translation and the writing is so stellar, and it's translated so well, and the writing is amazing. The thing that's really interesting is I know there's one character in there that's the main character's female friend that a lot of people find really, really, really annoying, and for good reason. The thing that I think they do really well in this game is you can turn off individual characters' voice acting.
Shut up.
Yeah. So
really?
You can go and say, like, okay, I just really don't like this person. Drag their slider all the way to the left. They are silent now. But everybody else has voice.
That's great.
It's really great because I there's always, for everybody, there's going to be one character that's just sort of like, oh, God, I cannot take. But you don't want to turn off everybody's voice acting because the voice acting is pretty good. It's just really great, and it's one of those few games where I wish that as soon as you finish it, I wish I could just wipe my memory of it and just go back and play it again. So it comes out in the States in the 26th on Amazon. Comes out on Vita. It's probably gonna be $40. PS3 is probably gonna be $30, if not cheaper. It's great. It's really outstanding. I can't recommend it enough. Especially as an intro to visual novels, because I think it's such a great use case for why visual novels are great. And then if you like this, you can go to 999, you can go to Virtue's Last Reward, Danganronpa, Blood Drive, some of the other stuff that's come out on PSP and Vita. There are a ton of other games that you can almost immediately pick up, even digitally, just to kind of continue that train.
I would love if they'd port Hotel Dusk over to
That's another great one that kind of, if you take the spectrum of because visual novel and adventure games kind of live in the same house. Steins Gate is all text and voice acting. There's no puzzles. There are decisions, but they don't feel like decisions. It makes sense once you finish the game the first time, where the decisions start to fork out. You look at something like 999, where it's half visual novel, half puzzle game, and then you look at something like Hotel Dusk, that's more in the adventure game, almost like LucasArts Sierra games, where it has a story, but it's more focused on putting this stuff together, having decision trees, that sort of stuff. It's so good. Okay, I could talk about Steins Gate more, but I don't want to spoil it. I surprisingly made more progress on Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I did the two things that I've been trying to do for a long time, one of which is get the trophy for clearing the dark room or the chest without taking damage. That was a nail biter. That was rough. I didn't think I would ever get that one. And then I built Super Meat Boy in the game to get one of the last secrets I needed to get the Platinum God trophy, which is not the Platinum trophy, regrettably. I still have 3 trophies to do on that.
Good labeling there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's the Platinum trophy is titled the Real Platinum God because I haven't gotten everything in the game yet. I need to beat everything on hard with the Lost, and it's the character that it takes one hit and it kills him. So I don't know how I'm going to do that. That's just rough. So I'm still making progress. I streamed a little bit ago with the Lost, and I'm just my own worst enemy. So I'll beat it someday. Hi, dog. The last game I've been playing, though, is Galak-Z. Came out last week on the PS4.
That game looks really cool.
Yeah. I'm really torn, because first off, it perfectly captures that 70s and 80s, like, Robotech, like, mech-based, space-based, like, Spaceship Yamamoto, like, that style.
I'm a spaceship a-go-go.
Yeah, like, it so perfectly captures that style. And, like, even how the ship is laid out, like, how everybody talks to each other, it's almost like this. Like, if you watch Robotech, you can tell sometimes they're right on script. And then sometimes they localized it a little too aggressively, so it's kind of like just make something up for this line, and it's sort of like, let's go get pancakes, see you later. It's like, what? Wait, huh? It even captures that sort of stuff. Coach Jamal in chat says 80s overacting. It does that too, where it's sort of like, no, like it's yeah, like it does some of that stuff so well, and then when you finish the first episode, it does like 80s anime outro, like even with like the crackly like when there's like their logos at the end,
like the stinger.
Yeah, and it even does like Kurokawa films, like with those two like Japanese characters coming in. Like it's so on point with how 80s anime is, like, but cherry picking the stuff that really makes you love 80s anime. But the game is so unforgiving. So like if you die, so there's 5 seasons that have 5 episodes in them. The 5th season isn't in the game yet. That'll be coming out when the PC version comes out. That's not really a problem because there's so much in this game already. And you go through the tutorial and it's fine. It's the thing that is interesting to me is the control scheme is weird. It's you move the left stick to aim your ship, and you're hitting R2 is your forward thrusters, and L2 is your reverse thrusters. And if you hit both of those, it stops your ship. And R1 is boosters, but those you can't use those that often, or else it overheats your engine. But then the right stick looks around the map, like it looks around the area where your ship is, and you know it has, you know, your normal lasers are on the X button on the PS4 controller, and then if you hold down the circle button, you paint targets for your missiles, and you can stack up to 3 missiles on each target, and it does like the Macross style where one missile is actually like 12 of them coming out of your ship and like going out and crisscrossing and hitting enemies. What I don't understand about it, and I'm sure they addressed it some when they were developing it, and I would really like to see them do a post-mortem about the game, is why is it not a dual stick shooter? Like, why is it just not a dual stick shooter with like those boosting mechanics? Like, why? It seems like a game that, because they have a drift button, quote unquote, which is L1, that's kind of like a circle strafe, but it really only like drifts your ship in one direction instead of like being able to drift it whichever way you're going. It kind of makes sense, but it takes a while for me to like bend my brain to the way that this game wants you to play, because if you run up into 2 or 3 enemies at one time, you might blow up. Like, smaller enemies aren't going to take you out, but if it's two medium enemies and a larger enemy, you have to try to either get behind them and hit them with a bunch of missiles right off the bat, or try and pull one at a time. And it's a shame, because the game is really good, but if you the lack of permanence for your ship is really I don't know what it wants me to do, because the game is so tough, and it wants you, I think it wants you to kind of sneak around a little bit, but that's not really that fun when you're a ship in space that can transform into a mech that can like grab guys and slash at them. Like, when you die, there are these things called crash coins that you can collect. If you have 5 of them, you can restart the episode that you were just on, and there'll be a recovery capsule somewhere in the mission. When you break it open, it has all the upgrades you just got. If you don't have them, you're done for that season. So like, if you made it to season 2 episode 5 and you got blown up and you don't have enough crash coins, you have to start season 2 episode 1 over again, and you don't get to keep any of your upgrades. Like, you have your basic level ship. So what I don't understand is, like, am I supposed to be unlocking other ships? Because you can unlock blueprints for upgraded weapons and stuff like that will be in the store. So if you go back to starting season 2 episode 1, there's upgrades in the store, but they're like 500 credits, and you start out with 100. So like, am I supposed to go back to season 1 to farm credits? Because season 1 is really pretty easy. So then I can have an upgraded ship and enough crash coins in season 2 to have like a buffer. The game never really addresses it. The game only says like, hey, if you die, you're done for that season. But if you keep going, you'll have all your upgrades. It's like, yeah, but you know, when I think of something like Binding of Isaac, when I think of something like Rogue Legacy, you have some permanence there. It's a roguelike, and it's tough, but you know, in Rogue Legacy, you're upgrading your castle. So you're starting out with more health. You're starting out with, but the game scales the difficulty as you keep upgrading your castle. This one, it just kind of seems like it seems like a really hardcore traditional roguelike where it's sort of like you need to be really good and you need to learn your lessons and you need to, if you're really, really good, you can make it to season 3, but you have to be on top of it. You have to know the controls like the back of your hand, and you're going to be failing a bunch of times. But it seems like there's no benefit to that. It seems like the stuff you're unlocking is always like an arm's length away, where it's sort of like, yeah, you upgraded, you know, now your weapon can, your shots can catch enemies on fire, and that fire can spread to other enemies. I was like, cool. And they're like, well, that's 700 credits. It's like, well, now I can't get that unless I'm like farming a season 1. So I kind of, the game almost needed like another tutorial screen where it's sort of like, here's how hardcore this roguelike is. Because it seems on the surface it would be a dual 6 shooter and it would be pretty difficult, but you know, it's okay. But
yeah, it wouldn't care about killing you off. It wants you to play the game.
Right, and it would, if the game would even sort of be encouraging, like, hey, you're gonna die a lot and you're gonna replay this a lot, but if you're having trouble on seasons, all it needs to really say is like, if you're having trouble on higher seasons, start back from season 1 and you'll carry your upgrades all the way through. And like, that's the recommended way that we play this game. I'm sure you'll figure that out as you go, but the price of dying is so high that when you compare it to something like Shiren the Wanderer or even like Etrian Odyssey or even Binding of Isaac, when you die in a lot of those games and a lot of roguelikes, you've learned something. Like, I've learned, like, okay, if I pick up that item with this other item, I'm never going to finish the game. It's either killing me or it's going to, I'm not going to be able to do this, or okay, I ran into a room full of enemies and I just freaked out, and I shouldn't have. If I would have just kept a cool head, that would have been fine, and I would have made it through. But with this, I don't know if I haven't spent enough time with it, but every time I die, like halfway through Season 2, I just close the game. You know, there's nothing pulling me back into it with, like, okay, all right, I learned that, and now I know what these enemies do, and then I can attack that. It's just sort of like, well, I ran into 4 enemies, and one of them was a giant mech, and I couldn't fight, or like I boosted into them because I should have boosted out, or you know, like it's frustrating. And I know some people will be like, well, you just need to get good at the game. Yeah, I've dunked a couple hundred hours into Binding of Isaac, and I'm still not done. I'll just go play that. You know, like, and it's unfortunate because everything's great about it. I'm glad I gave 17-bit my money because I think their games are really great. They made Skulls of the Shogun before this. I think it just needs a little bit more polish or a little bit more permanence, or just something up front that's just like, hey, when you die, you're done. Just start from Season 1. So I don't know. I was really hoping
maybe if it had some sort of equipment persistence in it, I think would hold you in. But you know, wiping the slate clean is just, that's 1990s game design.
Well, and the thing too is like, another one of my favorite roguelikes is Risk of Rain, where the things you do unlock more items in the game, and then the things you do with certain characters unlock more characters, and the more characters you unlock later are much stronger. So I was hoping that would be done in Galak-Z, where it's like, okay, I have a second ship now, or I have a third ship, and that starts out with more health, that starts with stronger lasers, stuff like that. I was hoping that is, I would do that, but the way the storyline is progressing, it seems like because of the story, this is the one ship you'll get. And Pseudonym in chat says that's roguelike game design. I agree. I think I like a little bit of a softer roguelike. You know, I think this is really true standard roguelikes. You know, these are like your Shiren the Wanderers, like some of your mystery dungeon stuff. That is, you know, some of your ASCII roguelikes that are really... what's that other, Dungeons of Dreadmore? That's another one where it's you're expected to make it as far as you can, and if you make it to the end 1 in 20 times, that's great, but you're not going to be unlocking a lot of extra stuff along the way. For me, what I'm looking for in my roguelike is the annoying stuff that people are calling roguelike likes, which is just the worst, and that's the only time I'm going to say it. Where you have that permanence, you have a little bit of unlocking stuff that you're kind of doing, or like Binding of Isaac, where I'm unlocking. The more stuff I do, the more items I'm unlocking in the item pool. I like that a lot. The more you play and the more you learn, the further you get and the more cool stuff you get to play with. But something like this, where it's a really serious roguelike, it's a really hardcore roguelike, I just don't know if that's in my wheelhouse. If it is for you, I think Galak-Z might be really good. If it isn't, this might not be the roguelike that is in your wheelhouse, unfortunately. So, but it looks super great. The art style is super cool. The music is great. The names of each episode are randomly generated. Those are amazing. They all sound like Robotech episode names. We're just like, look, we're 300 episodes into this. I'm putting words together. And it really nails all that stuff. But I just don't think it's the roguelike for me, unfortunately. So, they already put out a huge patch to it that addressed some of the issues with it. So it seems like they're going to be pretty aggressive in supporting that. I'll probably check it out every once in a while, and maybe when I'm done with Binding of Isaac, the new expansion will probably be out by that point. But I might go back to it after it's been patched a little bit and sort of see where that's at. But Risk of Rain needs to come to the PS4. Please. That would be awesome. The game is amazing. But that's all I've been playing. I'm probably going to start The Witcher 3 now that I'm done with Steins Gate. But let's take a break.
All right. Orange mocha frappuccino.
So good. Okay.
It is hot as shit in here.
Pseudonym. What other? If I like those sort of roguelikes, and if you've played more of them, what are more roguelikes I should look at? I really like that genre, but I'm not. Oh, Coach Jamal asked if Knobs was hitting the hard liquor. It's just water.
Oh, yeah, it does look like a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm going to fill it up.
There you go. I like roguelikes a lot, just not the super
What's up,
hardcore ones.
dog? How you doing? Is he stretching?
Adom is still what I consider to be the definitive one. Yeah, I've never tried that. I'm gonna check that out. I've always heard really good things about that, but I haven't. I've never played that. Wow, it even looks like it has an ASCII interface. Yeah, NetHack, Brogue. I've heard really good things about both of those. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out. I have to check out some of those. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really wish Risk of Rain was on PS4. I would play that a lot more. That game is outstanding. Yeah, I like FTL a lot. You know, that to me is is pretty difficult, but I don't know why I felt like I really liked getting hit, getting smacked around by that game and coming back for more. I don't know. I think it has that unlockable stuff that that I really like, where I'm unlocking more ships, or I have little goals to go through to get these 3 achievements, you get this ship. I liked that a lot. Maybe I just need some sort of permanent unlocks. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, let's kick off this next segment, shall we? Like starting to lose my voice again. I had this nasty head cold a couple days ago, and I thought I had shaken it, but keep losing my stupid voice.
Is California on fire by you yet?
No, the northern part. It's like, that's that huge wildfire that's up there.
I think there's a bunch of them in Alaska or in Canada, right?
I don't know.
Were the permafrost layers on fire?
Oh, that's
like
weird.
the fire's like smoldering like underground because all like the years and years that decaying vegetation is so dry right now.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, they're like, well, not much we can do about that.
Let it burn. That's what they're doing up north. It's like, look, if we let it burn in a controlled manner now, it won't catch on fire for another couple years. So,
yeah,
just let it burn.
All right, you ready?
Ready.
All right, ready in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. We got releases this week for August 10th, 2015. Goat Simulator for the PS4 and PS3.
I kind of feel badly for that game because everybody knows all the jokes in that game right now since it's been out on PC for a while. So hopefully they didn't miss their window because that stuff is really funny if you've never seen it before. But if you've seen it before, it's
broke.
You've seen it before, you know.
All right, Gauntlet Slayer Edition for the PS4.
They came out and said like, hey, that PC game we put out last year wasn't really great. We've been working on it for about a year, and it's way better now. So try it on the PS4.
Yeah.
So curious.
I don't know. Gauntlet games used to be so much fun.
It seems like it's a pretty okay hack and slash game that is sort of Gauntlet inspired.
That's all that game needs to be.
Yeah.
Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons for the PlayStation 4.
I should probably play this game now. Everybody seems to love it, and it's like 2 hours long.
Prototype 1 and 2 for the PS4.
Be very curious to see what the performance is like that on these versions.
Yeah. Fallout Shelter comes out for Android.
You should play that. It's free. It's good. It's fun.
Yeah, I might buy an Android tablet just so I can do that.
Yeah.
Or figure out some way I can get my Surface to mirror Android's OS.
Yeah.
Which I hear it does well. The Talos Principle for the PS4.
I'm really looking forward to that. I've been holding off on it until it comes out on PS4, and this version has the expansion as well, so it's kind of the original game and the add-on. That game looks super great. Everybody really seemed to love it when it came out on PC early this year. So I'm gonna pick that up. I like a good puzzle game, so can't go wrong. And it's a Serious Sam guys. I can support them. They make good stuff.
They always make good stuff.
Alright, moving on to news stories. Gamescom 2015 happened last week, and not a lot new was shown there. Microsoft did come out and say they, early this year when people said like, hey, what about these games at E3? They said, well, wait for Gamescom. And they did show some stuff. Most importantly, they showed Crackdown 3.
A whole lot of Crackdown 3.
They showed a whole lot of Crackdown 3, and that looks like Crackdown, which is great. And the multiplayer, you can destroy every building.
Everything.
Yeah, what I'm really glad about is that it just left my brain. The destructible buildings is only in multiplayer. I hope there's an easy way to say like, okay, let's bring back all the buildings. Like, we destroyed all of them. That was fun. Bring them back. We'll destroy them again. Then we can bring them back again.
Yeah, that was crazy. That whole demo where they were showing off the actual how many servers they were bouncing off that processing power to
Yep,
for cloud computing.
yep. Which
I
is
was
interesting because all these devs have always been like, "Oh, the power of the cloud. We couldn't do this on uh, just the regular Xbox One. That'd be crazy." But these guys are actually coming in and saying like, "This is why. Like, on the low level, here's why.
yeah.
Here's why this is happening."
Well, and that just like when they were blowing up a couple of those buildings, it was hitting like 10, 11 servers. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that just doesn't even compute in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that stuff looks really great. I hope that, and when they looked at some of the single player stuff, it looks like Crackdown. They're talking about the stuff that, thinking back on it, they did kind of the prototype version of the Nemesis system that people really loved in Shadows of
This is
Mordor.
Mordor. Yeah.
You look at, you take out this guy that was running guns for the rest of the gangs. The other gangs don't have rocket launchers now, or these guys were doing the body armor, and these guys have way less health now. When you look at some of the trailer stuff they were showing, looks like they're kind of extending that out a little bit more, where this guy on this island over here is doing money laundering. You break that up, you take that money, and now the gangs don't have a ton of money for everybody anymore.
You know what? I think that's what Crackdown 2 was missing more than anything else was the subordinates. Because that was
Yep.
just when you were taking on the gangs, you had to knock out all the minions underneath them, the lieutenants. Then you went after them. It made that trip a lot easier.
Yeah.
I'd almost forgotten that was in there.
And that was super cool, and I feel like Shadows of Mordor gets a lot of credit for doing the Nemesis system, which it should, because I think it's really important. But Crackdown 1 did that 7 years ago.
Yeah.
It was sort of instrumental in laying that framework, and I really hope that Crackdown 3 really takes that torch and runs with it, because if you can do that nowadays, I think that's really interesting. And I thought it was really funny. A lot of the opening shots for those trailers were just, "Hey, you're standing next to agility orbs.
Yeah.
Those are back." And as soon as I saw that, I was just like, I gotta get all these. I gotta do
Yeah.
all of those. So I
I
just
hope it's not an exorbitant amount.
no, because I
I
feel
hope
like
they keep it the same amount.
in 1 and 2 it was like between 400 and 500 of like all of the orbs, and then like there were those, was it mystery orbs or whatever they
Oh,
were
the
called?
hidden orbs.
Yeah, the hidden orbs. There were like 100 or 200 of those. Those were just enough. There were enough of those. It wasn't like if you're gonna do 500 and 500, that's too many.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
don't
if
go.
it's 500 and 200, I think maybe the max.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
the
other than that, you look at it like you look at Arkham City. Yeah, and it's just like, well, that's too many. Like I'm not even gonna start trying to do that, because that's just right off the bat, that's too many things.
Yeah.
So I'm
And
I'm
that's
real
not
excited for
funny,
that.
Jay-Z.
Yeah, that was an accidental pun. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited for Crackdown 3. I mean, I've been cautiously optimistic about it this whole time, but I think the stuff that they're showing has shown me that I think number one, they get what Crackdown is, and it seems like they're on the right path. And then for the multiplayer, they're just making it crazy. Like Crackdown 2 had exploding sticky ducks.
Yeah.
Like that's single player didn't have much of that stuff, but that's fine. The multiplayer went a little bit crazy on that. I don't like that.
I don't know. As long as I can, I hope the mag pads are back
That'd be great.
because I would love to stream us launching stupid things over really high places again
Yep.
because that was a
Can't
lot
go
of
wrong with
fun.
that. Microsoft also announced that Xbox One gets TV DVR functionality in 2016. That's interesting. I'm surprised they're still extending that TV functionality. I thought they would have kind of let that go, not let it really wither on the vine, but just sort of said like, yeah, I mean games, but you can also do that stuff. Like if you really want, it's robust and it's in there, but I'm kind of surprised they're expanding it. They also announced that Windows 10 is coming to Xbox One. It looks like when they're refreshing that interface that they've been talking about for a while, hey, that's just Windows 10, which is fine. I mean, you're already connecting Xbox One to PC. Why not go the other way. And they announced for sure that Xbox One backwards compatibility is released for everyone in November. I just got that firmware update yesterday that enabled backwards compatibility. The first thing I downloaded was Shadow Complex. I have not fired it up yet, but I will be playing that again.
That is a good game. I haven't played that in a long time.
Yeah. I saw that in my download list, and I was just like, yeah, all right. I could play through that again. It's like, what, 3 hours?
Well, 14 minutes if you really want to be.
That's true. I won't go down that rabbit hole again, I don't think. If I would,
will.
I'd probably stream it again. But
no, you will.
I got plenty of other things to play.
You know that's going to get its hooks in you. Things like, I remember how to play this game. Yeah, what? All right, let's do it all again.
In less than 30 days, Metal Gear Solid 5 comes out. So I kind of got to clear the plate for that. So, oh man, so good.
I think you're going to do it.
Yeah, probably. Star Wars Battlefront's Fighter Squadron mode was announced. Dogfighting in space basically looks like it functions like Team Deathmatch. I think that's really interesting. I think that's something that a lot of people were saying, like, hey, do we have vehicles? Can I fight them? It's nice to see that's coming out. It's also really funny to see people that are like, yeah, it's good, but could be way better. And it's like, you have it.
Yeah.
That's a thing you wanted.
It's in there. I think it'd be really cool for some of the larger maps to have like the fighter squadrons up there instead of just having like 2 air vehicles that everyone's fighting over the whole time.
Yeah.
That you have like, well, we're gonna join the squadron up above, and that's gonna have your effect on what's going on the ground.
And I think too the thing that people don't necessarily know, because the hardcore Battlefield fans don't really bleed out in other games, and a lot of other people don't get hardcore in a Battlefield, is like we're seeing with Battlefield 4, and we've seen for a lot of Battlefield games. They support the hell out of those games. So there's nothing saying that they can't put the improvements in for the dogfighting mode to get it. Yeah, I'm sure DICE has had those ideas before where they're like, oh man, this would be great if we could just extend this mode. They have to ship this game at some point. And if they can put out free DLC in 6 months to improve that mode, they probably will. So, I don't know. It sounds really cool. That game keeps having cool stuff announced for it. So,
well, definitely. I mean, DICE itself. I mean, they balance those weapons constantly.
Yeah,
and that's kind of one of the great things that's kind of kept Battlefield almost on an even keel. Is that like they found one exploit, cut it off, everyone's back in the same playfield, and they figure out another way. It's kind of crazy how the community figures out how to game the system. Well, I still think they need to nerf these shotguns a little bit, but
yeah, that's kind of a problem in every game. Either they're useless or they're like, 6-shell sniper rifles. I think that the thing too is, I think because it's Star Wars and because Disney seems to be so involved and invested with Star Wars now, I feel like that lends a little bit more faith to them being able to upgrade that game more often, because it seems like Disney is really pushing it when they talk about Star Wars. So, that makes me a little bit more hopeful. Something I'm not hopeful on is Square Enix says Final Fantasy 15 is going to release in 2016. No. There's no way. I'd like to see that happen. Come on, Square. Be honest with yourselves. It's been in development for 10 years. It's okay.
Yeah.
They had
why put a date on it if you're going to fall short?
They had a live stream recently where it seems like they were looking at new stuff in that game and then sort of answering the question of like, oh, well, are there more details about this? And it's like, no. What about this character? No. Nope. No. So, I don't know. We'll see. I really want to play that game. I think it's super cool. I give them a lot of kudos for updating that demo and putting more stuff in it. I think that's great. I just kind of want to wait until it comes out. And I really hope it's going to be good. It seems like it really can be. But we'll see next year. Ish.
Well, not my bag, so yeah. I'm hoping for you.
Thanks. I know, you know what? I hope that this game is what. Oh, I hope this game is active enough in its battle system that it might be something I can recommend to you, where it's not this turn-based yawn fest that you legitimately don't like. But if it's something more actiony, something more hack and slashy, I feel like that game with Square Enix's production values is something you could really enjoy if it could get out of its own way, and if it could get out of its own butt with all this Final Fantasy 13, you know, Lycian Falsey stuff, this gibberish that it keeps throwing on top. It just, I don't know. When Square can get out of its own way, it makes really great games. But once it gets too into its own mythology, it starts getting real bad.
Which you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Square is in such a weird place, and we talk about this every once in a while on Pup, is that Square is in such a place where they've been around for so long, and Final Fantasy 7 and 10 were both so huge for them. Their MMO space is something separate, and they're doing really well there, but when a new Final Fantasy game comes out that has a number attached to it, people expect them to have made this grand, amazing, beautiful game that they spent $500 million making, and they expect it to be 200 hours long and have these huge, beautiful towns, and it's like, they can't. That's not how people make games. I mean, I don't know.
The problem is everyone has already made the best Final Fantasy game in their own mind. Like,
absolutely.
They're never going to live up to those expectations.
Yep. And it's
and that's what made 7. No one was expecting 7 to be great.
Yeah.
No one was expecting, what was it? Was it 10?
10. Yeah, 10 was the next really great one.
Yeah, no one was really expecting it. At that point, they'd already dropped the ball on 9.
8 was the first one where people were like, well,
yeah. And then so they need to tank. It seems like tank 3 to get one great one.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because they're kind of a victim of their own success. 7 was huge, 10 was huge, 11 was huge, 14 is now huge, and just kind of every time one of those games is really great, it just, everybody's like, well, the next one has to be even better. And then when we get 13, which is fine, but not the level of game that most people expect, then they're just like, well, Square's dead.
Well, and I can totally agree with what Koshimal just said, is prepare for global disappointment when 7 Remake comes out, because a game that old, you need to leave that in the past. Let it live back in your happy memories.
Well, and I think Square's doing something really interesting with 7, where they're taking the PS1 version that they kind of gussied up and added achievements to for the PC one, and they're putting that on PS4. Just the regular old standard Final Fantasy 7. So you have that there. It's probably going to be like $10-15. You can play that if you want to relive your memories of 7. And what they're doing with the remake that they're talking about is they're changing the battle system. They're changing some story elements. They're changing stuff around. It seems like they're taking this older game that is fine. It's a good game that is not as modern as some of the RPGs coming out now, and they're kind of tweaking it, and they're kind of putting a new coat of paint on it. I don't yet know how I feel about that, but at least they're trying something different, and then they're leaving something in place that is your standard Final Fantasy VII, where it's like, well, it wasn't as good as that other Final Fantasy. It's like, cool, then go download that and play that. So you kind of have both ends of this game, and I think that's really smart of them to do. John Connor 333 in chat says, my memory of a game is usually better than when I revisit the game. Yeah.
Yep.
Knobs and I were talking about that before we started recording about Kids in the Hall.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to go back to watch
Strangers with Candy.
You know, it's not going to be as good as it was in the 90s.
It's one of those amazing things that was so perfect for its time and place that if you revisit it, you're going to disappoint yourself. Or if you talk it up to someone and show it to them, you're like, Oh wow,
You know, this is the best movie I've ever. Oh, I loved it. I saw it like 5 years ago. It was so good.
I did that with Eastbound and Down with an. Granted, they skewed a little older on the on the
On the
audience
scale.
range. I was like, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, this is really funny to me, but you could totally see this is just landed like a lump in the middle of the room.
Yeah,
You're
they're
like,
just like, I don't. Why is this guy swearing so? Why is he? This isn't even funny. It's like, okay, well,
you don't get it. I mean, you're a gym teacher. This should be funny.
Yeah,
No.
just flopped. So,
Yeah.
all right, our next news story here: Gears of War Ultimate Edition gets 4 additional games. Here's what I think is really interesting about the Xbox One backwards compatibility. When you get Gears of War Ultimate Edition, you get all 4 of the original Gears games. 1, 2, 3, and...
Judgment.
Yeah, that one. I think that's really great, because just like we talked about with Final Fantasy VII, you don't like the new Gears of War because watching a lot of the stuff they've been doing, they're changing a lot of the cutscenes, they're changing some level design, which is fine. You have the old one, and you can just re-download it or just pop your disc in, and you just play the original one.
It sounds a lot like we just talked about with Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that's what I think is really great with this, with what Microsoft is doing with backwards compatibility, and where I think people have a lot of frustration with Sony and PlayStation Now is, you know, people just want to, maybe someone wants to say, oh man, I don't like everything they've done to Final Fantasy X on PS4. I kind of just want to play the original. You can't really do that. And you can't pop your disc in to do it. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to see the sort of opposite, the opposite ways that Microsoft and Sony are attacking this.
I'm sorry, that's really funny.
What's that? Pseudonym in chat says, Gears 1 now has colors? This is an outrage. Some people are being weird about that. I think Gears...
If it's not blue, it's not allowed to be there.
Well, I think what's interesting is, I think the Gears 1 remake is shaping up to look pretty interesting. It has a different color scheme, but when you look... And I didn't remember, I played Gears 1 like twice, and Gears 2 and 3 were played much more. Gears 1 is a very yellow game.
I would say more tan.
Yeah, and it's you know, there was one of the developers came in and they're like, look, we were really going for a Band of Brothers sort of style, so it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But when you kind of look at it now, it's sort of like, well, we have colors now, so
yeah, I think you missed the mark on that one, but
yeah. So I think that's pretty interesting.
You're beyond the point where you can say that's an aesthetic choice.
Yeah. And our last news story here, we typically don't talk about a lot of Destiny news, but they've been coming out. They're the Game Informer cover story this month. They kind of came out with some big news here, where the new level cap for the Taken King is level 40, and they're doing away with this janky light system they had before, where you'd level up to level 20, and then you'd have to get better and better gear to get to these higher levels. Now the level cap is 40, and the march from 1 to 40 is just all experience-based.
Oh, great. I might play it some more now.
Even better for someone that wants to return to the game, Knobs, when you buy the Taken King, you get a one-time character boost, where one of your characters can scoot all the way up to the minimum level you need to start experiencing the Taken King.
Oh.
So if you're like level 18, you're level 20 or whatever, you can scoot all the way up to, let's assume it's level 30. You can be level 30 and you can just start the Taken King stuff there, and you'll be ready to start the stuff that came out in between, you know, the first 2 expansions for year 1. I think that's a great move. It seems like they're kind of taking a sort of a note out of, you know, what WoW has been doing and what a lot of other MMOs have been doing, is instead of focusing on your gear moves your character level up, it looks like they might be going to an item level thing, where it's your item stats have aggregated into this level. You know, your general level is like 165 for your items as opposed to your characters. And then on top of that, they're changing the loot system where the stuff that you already have is way less likely to drop after you already have one of them, which I think is great. And then, you know, they're doing a lot more interesting stuff where they're adding a lot more exotics, and a lot of those will have really long missions to go complete and do all these challenges to get that weapon. I think it's really interesting, and I hope they do all this stuff right, because Destiny really badly needs its confusing systems to go away, so that you can just say you can get to level 40 by just playing the game. It's not this thing where it's like, oh, go pick up this piece of gear and now you're level 31.5, and then go do this for a little bit and then get this. It's just there were too many bars and there were too many stuff. Just make it, just shoot some aliens and then you get to level 40 and then you're ready to do the end game stuff, where they've been talking about having quests to introduce you to these vendors that will then give you stuff that you can get better gear, you can get better weapons. At that point, they're introducing you to, instead of like, oh, go to this page on Reddit and read up how to get those cool guns. You know, that's not what you want.
I don't need to do homework to play games.
Yeah, exactly. The game should urge you towards that system and that vendor.
Yeah, if the game doesn't explain it to me, that's a failure on your part as a developer, not me as the player.
Right. And like Destiny tried to explain some of its stuff, but it's sort of like, oh, we'll hover over this thing that looks like something in the background in the game. Oh, now it's going to explain it to me. It's like, well, that's just bad UX. You know, it's not great. That's all news stories we have. Let's move on to tweets.
All right.
The Honest Gamer writes in, where do you get all that great video game music you play in between segments? My collection. I have a problem with buying things, and that keeps happening. Someone help. Let's move on to emails.
All right. I'm not going to tell you not to buy stuff, so you know me.
Yeah, I mean, we
have our
feed
own
each
devices.
other's problem.
Yes, we do.
We're enablers.
Oh no, you buy that, I'll just keep buying this stuff.
It looks super cool. Yeah, steelbooks. All right. Drac M writes in, hello TVGP, Jean-Francois from Quebec, Canada here to talk a little bit about Konami. A recent report from Japanese business publication Nikkei showed us that workers inside Konami may have had it way harder than we first thought. By now we know about Kojima leaving and his name getting removed everywhere. And before that, we still remember Igarashi being forced to do low desk work after the failure of Castlevania Judgment, before eventually leaving too. What this report now shows us is that employees that underperformed are reassigned to work as cleaners in their many fitness centers or security guards, which is true and is crazy. They also have security cameras tied to each time clock, where if you take lunches that are even 1 or 2 minutes over you're all out of time, you get publicly called out to the company.
What?
It's crazy. You should read that report. It is nuts. Hold on, someone's got a question here in chat that I want to capture. Yeah, it's really, really crazy stuff that is sort of like, there has to be some sort of law against a lot of this stuff that you're doing. I don't even... John Connor in chat says, sounds a lot like when I used to work retail. Yeah, a little bit, but like...
Oh, yeah.
These are programmers that's like, well, you screwed this thing up, so now you're a security guard.
Oh, I remember when I was working at Mark's, I would get sent home on Fridays because I was minutes away from hitting 40 hours.
Yeah.
Like minutes.
Yeah.
You know, you can't hit 40 hours. Why? Because then we have to pay you benefits and stuff. So, no, you gotta go.
So 39.5 hours. He continues, or reallocation of people inside the company for just liking a Facebook post about employees leaving Konami. This is worth a read to see how low Konami now is. It seems that every few weeks just show us a darker side of Konami, and it's quite sad. My question to you is about the good old times of Konami, when Konami was still associated with greatness. What is your best memory of Konami games of old? The only catch has to be something other than Symphony of the Night, which is fair.
I don't know. I kind of like all the Castlevania stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we can say like Zone of the Enders 2. You and I really love that game.
Oh man, that game was so good.
Who
else did Konami?
I forgot. I have their Wikipedia page pulled up here. Gradius? Those games are great.
Gradius was good.
Almost all of them. They did Contra, which is great. DDR was huge for them for a while.
Yeah.
Metal Gear, of course.
Metal Gear.
I forgot they did Bloody Roar, which is
Roar was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they bought that from Hudson Soft.
I couldn't imagine going, Hudson Soft! Oh,
yeah.
the little bee!
That's a blast from the past. Yeah, I don't know. Konami has been around for so long. Like, they did Beat Mania, Guitar Freaks, Drum Mania.
Konami wasn't Ninja Gaiden, was it?
I don't think so.
Did that...
It's that sick bird back there. They also have the Konami code. You know,
yes.
the most... Coach Jamal in chat says the Suikoden games. Yeah, they made 7 of those.
Yeah.
Ton of those. They made a lot of... the Winning 11, which is hugely popular in Japan. I don't know, it's sad, because they've been around since, you know, the NES days. And for, 20 years, it was like, okay, well, it's another Konami game. It's probably going to be pretty good. Or, like, it's another Gradius game, so those have been good.
Something to check out.
Yeah.
Who else spawned out of there? Suda wasn't there, was he?
No. Suda was with Capcom? Originally?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just such a shame, because I feel like Konami, for a long time, was a great company, especially on the NES and Genesis days.
I keep getting them because it seems like they're going down the same path that Namco Bandai went down.
Yeah. Yeah,
they lost all their talent. Like Platinum Games gone, then they lost Itagaki.
Yep. Well, and it's unfortunate because mobile gaming is so popular and free-to-play gaming is so popular, especially in Japan for these companies, that when you look at, they just announced a new Castlevania game, and it's like this weird kind of porny pachinko game. And it's like, that's what they're going to start using these names for. Because it makes them so much money over, hey, we're going to make a new Castlevania video game.
Yeah.
They're going to make a mobile Match 3 Parodius game instead of making another shmup.
Well, Suderman was there another great point. I mean, that's what Sega went into, was pachinko.
Yep. Because that makes constant money every day. A video game, when you look at a lot of these games, they're old after a week. People are on to something else. A mobile game, a pachinko game, you got people clocking in, clocking out on these things every day. So you can't compete. And that's the unfortunate part of the market right now. So, I don't know. Jean-Francois says, for me, I was associate Konami to my youth, but not to the NES games like many, but to Sega Genesis, parenthetically, Sega fanboy for life. 3 games I like to call Konami Power Trio: Rocket Knight Adventures, which is surely one of my top mascot platformers. That's a sadly forgotten game that was great on the Genesis.
Yeah.
That remake for the 360 was okay. I don't know. Castlevania Bloodlines, a classic Castlevania game that actually feels fast-paced and action-packed. That was a really great one. I think they put that out again on the PS1. That was really good. And Contra Hardcore, the best Contra game in my opinion, and a technical masterpiece on every level. You said it all about Contra Hardcore. That game is outstanding. I feel like that's another forgotten gem of the Genesis era. That was probably one of those $80 carts.
Yeah, if I remember, that was a pricey one.
Yeah. All right, Evan L writes in, "Hey guys, hello.
I
Boston, you've recently been talking a lot about Life is Strange and how amazing it is. I wanted to know your opinion on whether the impact of the game might be diminished if you buy all episodes at once, since there will be no cliffhangers. Is that a problem for other games of this type? Thanks for a great podcast." I think that's I think unless the game is really, really, really solid, like the first season of Walking Dead, I think that's going to be a problem for every episodic game, because this thing happens where it's like, oh, what? And it's like, oh, I'm just going to play episode 5. Cool. There's no, like, build-up to it, but...
Oh, I think everyone has a build-up to it. Like, when I was playing Walking Dead Season 1, it was like... Because I played them all in one straight shot. I didn't buy them episodically. So... It was like everyone was like, all right, I need to step away, and it gives you a good time to set the controller down, get your wits about you.
Some
then
stuff
before you
happened.
Jump back in.
I gotta take a breather. Yeah, and I think the interesting thing about Life is Strange is it does that episodic stuff really well. So, like you said, you can just kind of bomb out of it after an episode and be like, okay, I just spent like 3 hours playing this. I gotta take a breather. Or if you want to just keep going, I feel like the cliffhangers are really good. You know, each episode ends with a cliffhanger, and then it kind of, the next episode takes a little bit of time to ramp into what you just saw from the last episode. So it's not really like, boom, this thing happened, and then you start this next episode, and then something else crazy happened. You know, it kind of ebbs and flows a little bit. So I feel like if you're gonna play all 5, then I think that cliffhanger will still have an effect.
Well, I mean, it would be like, because I'm likening it to more like Alan Wake.
Yeah.
Was kind of presented in like an episodic fashion, that I think a lot of those transitions may have fallen a little flat if you were playing them a month apart from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. The other GZ in chat says, just because there's another episode on the way doesn't mean that cliffhanger doesn't have an effect. Yeah, totally. I mean, I think with how Life is Strange is presented, I feel like every cliffhanger so far has been really impactful.
What? My phone just picked up that it said that I had to stop playing Alan Wake. What the? Or my watch.
Your watch is just a really big Alan Wake fan.
Hold on, I've got to see what this put me to, because it sent me a link. It sent me to the Giant Bombs page for Alan Wake. What?
I don't know what's happening anymore.
It's thinking.
We got one last email here from Damien M, aka Cerebro. Oh man, you guys stirred some dark memories with your discussion of worst enemies. I remember booting up our PS1 with my brother to play Silent Hill 1, which I noped on about 2 minutes into. If you don't remember the first scene, let me refresh your memory. This game takes you straight to a narrow alley that then closes behind you and leaves you to run in circles, completely defenseless until some tiny monsters kill you. I remember shouting at my brother, run, jump, try all the buttons. Where's the bloody door? And then just whisper, well, this sucks. So my question, what game made you go, well, this is complete BS? Apart from the Silent Hill moment, I hate the last dragon on Dark Souls 2. Doesn't matter how much you grind, he is always a one-hit killer. That's complete BS. We were talking about this at work the other day. The thing that I really hate is battles in games where you can't win, and then you always think that it's going to have a game over, and it's just like, nah, never mind, you're good. And it's just like, just make that a cutscene then.
Yeah.
Like, I just struggle, and I like spent all my potions, and now I'm just like have 30 more hours in this game. Thanks, guys.
Well, I mean, that's where, I thought that's where they did it in Asura's Wrath really good, where you're fighting literally the planet in the opening scene of that game.
Yeah.
And you're just taking down its health, and it gets to the point where it just trips the cutscene.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yep.
I'm okay with those. I'm thinking about the Griffin in Lost Odyssey that seemed like an immovable object.
Boss.
Yeah, the first boss seemed like an immovable object, because it was until you beat it.
Until I feel like that boss was such a great tutorial for that game, because it's like, look, you can't grind. At some point, you can't level anymore. And
you have to figure out the systems to beat this thing.
Yeah, you're going to learn how you're supposed to play this game. And once you make it past that boss, you make it past everything in the game, because you know how to play the game then.
Yeah.
So I thought that was great.
Oh man. Actually, biggest BS moments I remember was the first time trying to play Gun Valkyrie.
Yeah, we're just like this game is slow. I
This
can't
it,
walk.
until it never explains it to you. You're not supposed to walk. You're
Mm.
supposed to fly.
Yeah, you fly everywhere. The ground is your real enemy.
Yep.
Man, that game was good.
It was awesome.
And Sega did a lot of really great. See, that's the era of games that I really like. That where it's the PS1, PS2, and Dreamcast era where, and even the original Xbox where a lot of companies were just throwing stuff at the wall and saying like, here's $1 or $2 million. You want to make a crazy game called Otogi? Well, let's see if it works. Well, we made 2 of them and it didn't catch on, so we did that. Let's move on to this other thing.
I mean, look at the games like Slave Zero, trying to figure out how to do dual stick controls with no dual sticks.
Yeah.
Like, and that game surprisingly worked really well.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Ah, good times. But I'm losing my voice, so let's wrap up this episode. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Email us tvgpfans@gmail.com. Tweet us at tvgp, and everything else is on the right-hand side of the page.
All right, don't forget to join the forums. Please mark yourselves on the map. Join us for our week of game night. Holy cow. I just saw that post up there.
Yeah.
Monday night, Battlefield 4 on the Xbox One. Tuesday, Destiny. Wednesday, PS4 game night, Rocket League. Thursday, Steam game night. And Friday and Saturday is your potpourri. Just kind of find someone, and I won't say no to an invite.
Yeah.
The Game Club game this week is Red Dead Redemption.
Yep. Should be going on for a while. So
currently I'm not playing it because I don't care about driving a horse.
Yeah.
So
Driving a horse is a little rough in that game.
Yeah, I don't feel like I can ride one in real life anyway.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet.
Something about getting on sentient animals, I don't like it.
Yeah, freak me out.
Yeah, unless you're really good at five-finger fillet.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And don't forget you watch this show live, twitch.tv/E1M1 Network. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us in the chat and watching live, and everybody listening on your podcast listener of choice.
Devices.
Yeah, we appreciate you very much. And we'll see you all next week.
Laters.
All right, I have 2 titles, Slippery Little Devil and The Crack of Time, which I kind of like that.
They went on for like 15 minutes talking about The Crack of Time. Like, I was losing my mind. All right, get me fired up again.
Yeah. All right.
Let me see. I got one.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't... let me see. I don't think it's the roguelike for me.
That's pretty good. Jay-Z sends over show titles. Lose Conditions. Who's Messing with Time? I Don't Know. You're the Space Cop.
That's...
I'm going to highlight that one. That one's pretty good. Where's highlighting in here? I don't know. I'm just going to bold it. Oh, no. Hold on. As I figure out how to do... There we go. Grillpusher.com, which I'm not going to do. Don't visit that site. It's probably gross. Z is higher than S. Kind of hard to milk it? No. Come on, Game Facts. Vegeta's Final Flash. Teal Hair Bastard. The Ultimate Budokai. Incredibly satisfying. I wish I could wipe my memory of it. Why visual novels are great. The Binding of Boston. Spaceship A Go-Go.
That's a good one, too.
Boosting Mechanics. If you die, you're done. Failing a bunch of times. Maybe just play Binding of Isaac. Equipment Persistence. Here's Why This Is Happening. The Prototype of Nemesis Exorbitant.
No, dude.
Nope. Exploding Sticky Ducks. 6 Shell Snipers. Turn-based Yawn Fest. Too Many Bars. 39.5 hours. Porny Pachinko. No. Alan Watch. WATCH. Shaking my head. Look, You Can't Grind. You're Not Supposed to Walk. And The Ground is the Real Enemy.
Oh, The Ground is Real Enemy. This is a good one, too.
I kind of like, I Don't Know, You're the Space Cop.
I think I said that in a fury, too.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick that one. Yeah, that one's great. You're the space cop! Exclamation mark. Has been decided. All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 407 for August 10th, 2015. I don't know, you're the space cop.
You figure it out!
Alright, thank you very much, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Where's my mouse? There it is. Bye.